Good morning, this is Judy from Artistic Artifacts in Alexandria, Virginia. We're going to play with some foil today. And this is not your grandma's Reynolds wrap, I can assure you. Oh, I didn't try it with Reynolds wrap. Somebody try it and let me know if it sticks. We are going to work with foil and wood blocks and stencils today. And I want to just talk to you, there's a lot of different products out there, Jones Tones, Deco Foil, but that's what we use is Deco Foil. You'll commonly find them in this tube, which if you're really organized, you can put the foil, unused foil, back in the tube, or you can use my method here, which is parchment paper and folds, but you do kind of want to protect the front of the foil. So your foil is actually here in the ugly side. I was watching a video by someone else and she said, okay, ugly side down. I'm like, oh, maybe I can, because I always say color side up. So what happens is this is showing you the color, but to have the foil adhere, you need to pull it off the back of it. And they do get scratched up and stuff, so you do want to watch, you know, be careful about where you're pulling them. So I have mine just wrapped in some parchment paper. So we like Deco Foil, and they have, this one's got some kind of, they're changing their, can you see it's kind of hard with foil, but it's got some prisms in it. This has got some colors, and then these are solids, maybe, kind of. Okay, don't use your teeth. This is a solid one. It comes 5 sheets to a tube, and as I said, the nice tube is good to do it. We have some flat packs, this is a multicolor. This to me is really pretty cool. It looks like kind of stainless steel, holographic, and it comes in 3 colors there. So the foil will work. Gives you lots and lots of options. So the whole concept on foil is that you need a glue to adhere the foil to the surface that you're using. So Deco Foil has many different types of glue that they provide for us, and we do sell. And there's one that can be worked without heat. So what happens is you use it through a stencil with a wood block, and it'll remain sticky so that you can actually adhere the foil without heating it up. But most of the time, for a better success, you're going to use heat with your glue. So they tell you, and you have to have a little planning when you're doing this glue. It's not necessarily a spontaneous thing. So you use your glue and apply it to your surface, and then you need to wait, like usually a couple hours. Not my strong suit, but then what happens is you're gonna apply your foil and then you're gonna heat it with an iron or a laminator. Laminator is really, really easy. And it makes it gluey and tacky again, and that pulls your foil together, and that's what creates your surface. So it's all about the glue that you're using. So Deco Foil, as I said, has this cream, which is the one that I use. They have it in a little bit smaller controlled container with a spout that is pointy, and then they have a pen with some extra tips so that you can work with writing, and then they have a spray. This is my car.
They say the mic isn't working.
Okay, hold on, let's check. I walked away with it on, so maybe I bounced it. Okay.
Can they hear you now?
Can you hear us now? Is that better?
Somebody give us a thumbs up.
Okay, she said.
So I took the mic off, so
Okay.
you're just talk loudly.
Okay, that's not a problem. All right, so here's a spray. This is Deco Foil spray. You can use it through a stencil. I thought it might be cool to just kind of like spray a piece of whole fabric and then put foil over it. But I didn't get that done at midnight last night. So I haven't tried this one yet, but it's the same idea. It's a glue. So if this works in a spray, maybe your spray basting stuff might work also. So that it's a glue, you're putting things together. So with that being said, maybe Misty Fuse will work. It's a fusible, it's a glue. It's gonna be Steam-a-Seam. Misty Fuse. Deco Foil also has these kind of things that I think are designed for crickets or those cutters. For some reason I haven't caught that fever yet. There's still time, but I haven't gotten there yet. But these, you can cut shapes out and that will work as well. And once you use this one, I know for sure works on t-shirts and fabric and things, that this is strong enough to adhere to things that are gonna be washed on a regular basis. With foil and washing in fabric, you can't dry clean it. You wanna keep a solvent away from it, which is commonly used in dry cleaning, because it will take the glue out. And so you don't want that. So hand wash it, gentle detergent, hang dry, lightly iron, because you don't want to activate that glue again. And I don't know the lifespan of activating glue. Sorry, I don't know that answer. But anyway, so there's a little bit about foil that I have found. And then, so now what I'm going to show you is using a wood block, which, we adhere glue, or we adhere paint with a sponge on a wood block. So it's the same concept. But I have found that, see these lines versus these lines? So the camel is thinner lines, the star is thicker lines. I find those blocks better for foil.
The thicker lines.
The thicker lines. So I went through what we have in stock and looked at some that I thought would be absolutely, I would be my first choice. See those thicker lines? This is coral. I love this one. It just has an all over pattern. And see, we get it different. So if you think you've bought this before, you don't have this size, I can assure you. So you'll need this size too. The leaf. See how that surface is? I also think if anybody's using decolorant, that I would go with the larger lines as well. So we have quite a few that I thought would be my first choice for using with this type of glue, these big lines. All right, and our wood blocks, our single block purchases, not our gift boxes, but our single block purchases are 25% off right now. They will be on sale through, I want to use this one, Wednesday. So, and it's a quite popular. We're again hoping that you can be creative at home and making it easy for you to get the tools to do that. Okay. So I am going to use Deco Foil Transfer Gel Duo. So Duo means it works with heat or it works without heat. All right. Funny, but it looks like soft gel or matte medium or one of those, which is also a glue, which also might work. So you gotta experiment with some of these glues that you have. So I just take it, and I want the depth, or how do I explain? The amount of foil is determined by how much glue you have. So if I want a light hand with the foil, then I'm going to put less glue on. Some people, I don't normally use a brush when I'm working with paint, but I definitely want enough glue on here. And then you have your foam mat. I generally use my little small pieces because I can take these bits and adhere them. And this is the part that's really hard to see. Can you see that block? And of course it dries clear. I would be careful when you're using a stamp or a stencil, because this is glue and it dries. So you don't want to let it sit very long, because then it's going to glue itself to your block. It'd be a little bit hard to take off. The other thing are some really cool stencils work well. So this is a stencil, and again, the thing about the stencils, it allows you to get thick glue in there. And I use a wonderful gift card. Kind of, if you're using molding creams with stencils, you know, you're not going to be kind of flat, and that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that the glue is sticking up. So one of the things is that I do, and I have all these little bits. So what that means is maybe I'm going to have a stenciled foiled piece of fabric, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to keep it as this piece, and then I'm going to cut it up to apply to my artwork like an applique. I learned that fabulous little tidbit from Lisa Ellis, who I'm sure many of you know Lisa. And so you can see here, and this allows me to get a really thick amount of glue on there.
So Ellen wants to know if the adhesive, does it ruin the wood block?
No, it doesn't ruin the wood block. You want to just wash it off. It just makes it sticky. So you just don't want it to sit on there. And my stencil, you want to make sure that you wash your stencil as well. Like molding creams. If you keep using a stencil with molding creams and you don't wash it out, soon your stencil is covered with molding creams, which is actually kind of cool, but it's a whole different purpose. All right, so then you need to let it dry. This is where I get lost. Anytime you have to wait is my issue. So while some of that is drying, what I'm going to show you, the laminator is actually pretty cool. This is, you know, pretty inexpensive, I think. You can get them at Staples, any office supply. But they actually, the advantage is that they apply heat evenly. There's the words I want. Evenly over the surface. All right, so let's see if I can find one. So, okay, this has Misty Fuse on it. So you can barely see it because of course it's there. And so I'm going to take, and I use my foil sheets until they're clear. I honestly will use them quite a bit. So I have a choice. I can use an iron for sure. So I have parchment paper, I have my piece of fabric with Misty Fuse, and I have my foil color side up. I have my laminator set on 5 mil, or it will be soon. It might not quite be ready yet. My button, I didn't push it. So you can use this with paper or fabric if you have a small enough piece that's going to go through the laminator. Yeah, this isn't quite hot yet, so we'll put it through again and wait a minute. So let me show you something else. All right, so here is a wood block piece where I stamped the peacock with paint. And I wanted a little bit of foil with the peacock. So I took this and I actually dabbed here. And I actually was trying to make it look like foiled tail feathers, so I need to work on that a little bit. So I used it as an accent on this piece rather than making the whole woodblock form be there. And again, we have to let it dry. All right, let's see. So this is Misty Fuse. You can see, based on how Misty Fuse is woven, loosely woven, that you're going to get a surface here. And it's going to show you. Now, if I used Wonder Under, if I use Steam-A-Seam, which is thicker, it's going to give you a more solid look. So say I want to use some of this on a collar or cuffs on a clothing and stuff. I would say this is probably going to be the better bet. But you can use the glue. Or if you want to take a stamp and maybe you're going to take a t-shirt and stamp around the collar, you can do that too. It is washable. It will wash. You just need to be gentle. It's the same rules that you use for paint. But when you try these fusibles that are already set up for fabric and clothing and such, that gives you a really sure win. And see, I still have blue left. Still have blue left. So those are fusibles. Let me show you. So you saw how, this is really, I love this stencil. This is even a thick amount of glue, and you can see where this was not. Again, one way is not better than another, but just be aware when you are applying glue through a stencil to not really push really hard and pull all the glue out. You definitely want it like you're working with molding creams. As I said, I keep all of these little sheets that I use in some of my stencils. Okay, this is a really cool trick here. I have some organzas, shears. They came out of a decorator's book. And what I did was I took a piece of fabric, I put it down, I put, well, yeah, kind of like that. And then I put the stencil over top of it, and I put the glue that we used here, this glue, through the stencil, and I went through 2 pieces of fabric at the same time. So you get glue on your fabric, and you get glue on your shear, and it gives you a really cool look. And again, you know, I don't, very rarely do I go for a really solid look. I like that illusion type of feel. And this piece, this is a bit. This is something that I might take later and incorporate into a piece. I might cut it, I might fuse, I would fuse the back with Misty Fuse, put it down in place. This might hang as an overlay. Lots of ideas to use. But I don't have a fixed idea when I'm making these. I'm just making bits. It's kind of like when you get your paint and your blocks out, stamp away, make lots of different things. You don't have to have an end purpose. Just have the fun of the moment of creating those things, and trust me, they will tell you what they want to be when you get a chance. Here's another one that was an overlay. See, I love that stencil. I'm sorry, I don't know if it's a current stencil or not.
Is this?
Was this foil, yes. That was this foil. I like these a little better than I like this strip. A lot of them have these lines, and even this one has lines. But to me, this is a little more organic. So I tend to like that better. All right. So, and those shears are really, really fun. Okay. So.
This is a current stencil.
It is?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yay! I used something current. Thank you, Sharon. Okay, this is Luchador, which we did on a previous morning. So let's see. So I actually used a heat gun on this Luchador. I painted it, but you can see there's this very small square. And I would assume that I used Misty Fuse and then took a kind of a used piece. So if you put Misty Fuse down, and this is really cool. I can't show you how to do it. Okay, so you put a single piece of Misty Fuse down, you iron it to that. Then you take a piece of foil that's used already, and you put the foil and you iron this. And so what happens is you get the reverse. So we've taken the foil out of the blocks, but now we're gonna have the pieces around the stones be our pattern. So that's why I say I use every bit of this until it's gone. It's really cool. That way it's really cool. Let me see if I can show you this. This kinda is an explanation. So this was the stencil. This is what you're used to seeing. So I put some glue down, and again, it's a very light glue, and adhered the stencil, peeled the foil off, and then I put Misty Fuse down, and I took the leftover foil from this one and used it on this one. Never waste. It's very fun, and it gives you, now I have two pieces of bits that I can use together. Okay, so I told you about Luchador. These are some more, these you can tell I was really trying, and you have to be conscious of this, at least for me. I have to make sure I'm paying attention going, okay, I want this to be really thick. And you can see how that is.
Can you put the Luchador through a laminator?
Yes, because you're gonna put Luchador in a piece of parchment paper, and heat gun is what melts the Luchador. And the heat gun is very concentrated high heat. But you can iron it and you can put it through a laminator. It'll be fine.
Someone suggested bone ash to sprinkle some for added texture.
Yes, I've used bone ash quite a bit for that when I want just bits and pieces. So bone ash is like salt, and it's granular. And so you can apply it to your fabric, heat it up, put foil on it, heat it up again, wait for it to cool, and then peel the foil back. And we do have bone ash actually online as well. We don't have it? Oh, but we have it in the store, so it'll be online soon.
Activated, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
We do have it in the store. All right. Sorry, the back workings are just as important as the pretty face in the front. Okay, so yes, bone ash is great. That's a good thing. Let's see. See, I really kind of went nuts on those shears. That was double duty for me. I loved it. Okay. Now, I had a happy accident once, and it became on purpose now, is some of this, sometimes when you're working with the silk paper, you're using a textile medium, and a textile medium is glue, right? Textile medium, matte medium, soft gel, it's all glue. It took me years. I'm passing that on to you now. It's all glue. So what happened once is I had a book cover that was, I had used matte medium on because I didn't have any textile medium. Makes it a little bit stiffer, but matte medium stays somewhat tacky. So if you have a somewhat tacky surface, foil will adhere to the tacky surface. So this one, you can see kind of here where it's tacky. But then I did take this glue, and you can see bigger pieces, and I applied it to this. So how I would do that is Actually, I would use this one now. No, I like this one because I like to be able to do it without heat. So I have my piece here, and I would just, I want it to be kind of organic, and using so again, I have to let this dry, and we'll take a picture and show you later. But once it dries, I'm going to take foil, and different colors of foil if I want, and I'm going to put it there and I'm going to rub it. And sometimes you can use your hands, you can use a bone folder, you can use the edge of your scissors. But that's going to give me a lightly foiled piece of silk paper. But this one is much stickier than these. I'm not sure. This was in my drawer of bits. It was silk paper. So this one was much, much stickier. So I think you can see the blue there. Ooh, I like that blue. That looks kind of cool. So I can do it a little more organically than having a stencil. But this is because there's matte medium that's dried on it. So you can see it. And I'm just using what's left of my thumbnail.
So Cindy wants to know, what is silk paper?
Silk paper, we need to do another Saturday morning Facebook Live. So this is silk paper is silk fibers that are laid in a pattern, and then you can add all kinds of sequins and stuff to that, and then you glue it together, let it dry, and it becomes this new piece of fabric. So there's a little bit of Angelina in there, a little bit of silk fibers.
And we've posted the blog post, the tutorial on creating silk paper.
One of the other things that we end up doing is a lot of paper solvy with some scraps and things. So this is a piece that I added some sari silk to it, stitched on it last night. And this was in solvy, solvy, ultra solvy, I think it is. So I was able to stitch. Now I'm going to go through now. I really like this one better. Guess I'm not supposed to say that.
Is there a way to speed up the drying process?
You can use a heat gun. They say that I haven't done it because I usually can't find mine. But you can speed it up with a heat gun. So, and I'm not, I want a little bit more organic look. So again, I'm gonna go look at this and have it be some foil, and once it dries. So I tend to do a lot of them at a time. So this was, and kind of stack them up and wait. Let me see. All right, we're almost, I got a few more things to show you, but it's getting close to store opening time. Oh, and I just turned my laminator off, so maybe I won't show you this one. Let's see if it heats up. Okay, so this one is that I have, this is fabric paper. So this is paper on muslin, and if you were with us last week, you recognize my motif there, my woman. So I was trying to create an archway here around it. So, and I'm not quite sure. She's kind of she's becoming an assemblage. She might be my house challenge on Sunday. We'll see. But again, I just kind of wanted, this is paper where I just printed her out on paper. Here we have foil, we have tissue paper and things around that. Now, here's an accident that I happened. So last week we were working with Luchador, and I had Luchador, and I had a print of this lady, and I was trying to do an archway around on the Luchador. And of course I have a tendency to want things done faster than they normally do occur. So I put the glue around the piece to make an arch. I ironed it because it was not working fast enough for me. So the foil stuck to the tap. So this is a tap transfer onto Luchador. And if you can see, this is where it was supposed to be. But glue is a polymer, and there's polymer in tap. So, and it was a piece that was used, luckily. So I now have some blank spaces where it was, but I heated the polymer up enough when I was ironing it to get to the edges that it stuck to the polymer. So be fair warned. And then this is just, we have these great rice papers here, and so you can add little bits. I always think it's nice to use part of the stencil, not all of the stencil. And then this is a piece where I used the applique. So I had stenciled a leaf, and I had this little crazy quilt that I put in my embellishment book. So I put Misty Fuse on the back, cut the leaf out, and then free motion stitched there. So it becomes an applique, which is really cool, very easy. So, do we have any questions? No? Everybody's ready to try foil? Okay. So, I also wanted to remind you that we have Share on Saturday on Artistic Artifacts Creative Facebook page. And you can ask to join that. That is for us to communicate, for you to post, for you to share on Saturdays, but also to interact with all our creative minds around the world. And so that group, that is there for you. So please join us there. The other thing is as we've been going through the schedule of Saturday mornings, we've added a couple of more that I think would be, we want to give you some advance notice on, okay? So because most of our shopping is occurring online, and if you've ever been to the store, you will know that not everything makes it online. It's a big job that we have to keep the website uploaded. So we're going to do on November 28th. Okay, so let me back up. November 21st, we're going to have Kathy Lincoln work with some embroidery again, and so the Facebook Live will be embroidery on Bernina's, the 790 probably. Then on the 28th, we're going to have a Facebook Live sell, okay? Yes, I'm going to sell you things. These are the things that we can't get up on the website. We have canthas. We have these fabulous, beautiful pieces from India. These will be on that Facebook Live as well. And we have a couple of sizes. These are amazing pieces that they've taken and recycled gorgeous clothing and created these collage effects of pieces. We have some purses, we have some baskets, we have some one batik that we've had, vintage batiks that are just one. So we're going to scour the store and find those things that we have not quite gotten up on the website. And so please join us on that day, and if you spend $50, it's free shipping, so that's our policy. The next thing that we're doing is on December 5th. We normally have our open house, which is a really big party that we have here that we can't because of COVID. So we are going, each of the staff members that are able to are going to create a stocking. So it's going to be a handcrafted stocking, and then we're going to stuff it with goodies. And we're going to auction those off and raise money for food banks. So Artistic Artifacts gives to Food for Others every month. And then, but we're not quite sure if that's where this is going to go, but it will go to a food bank, whether it's in Alexandria, Fairfax, but it will stay in Virginia. So we're going to reveal those. We're going to show you what the stocking is, give you a number as to what the item is, and show you everything that's in it. And then we're going to have you bid on those with 100% of the proceeds going to the food banks. We know that it's tough out there, and we're trying to do what we can to help with that. So please spread the word. We're still working on how we're going to do the auction. We don't have those details yet, but for sure it's going to happen somehow, somewhere. So be aware of those, and we will hope that you can, spread the word and make this a really successful. I think we should have 8 stockings, maybe 6, 8, somewhere like that. So we'll have a good selection of them.
So the live sale is on Small Business Saturday. So join us then to shop at small businesses.
All right. Thank you for joining us. We hope that you're creative and that we've given you some inspiration today. Join us on Facebook. Our website is shopping 24/7, Instagram, Pinterest. What did I forget?
YouTube.
YouTube. Yes, I forgot YouTube. All right. Join us there. Thanks. Bye.